What would you do if you trusted someone with your children, only to find them abandoned for a fleeting moment of celebration? Susan's heart raced as she stood in the airport terminal, her phone buzzing with a message that would unravel her world. It was supposed to be a weekend of joy, a rare chance for her and Tom to attend a friend's wedding in Chicago, leaving their two young children, Emma and Liam, with Tom's mother, Margaret. Susan had hesitated. Margaret was loving but impulsive, her decisions often swayed by whims rather than responsibility. Yet, Tom's assurances and Margaret's eager promises had convinced her. Now, as she read the text from a neighbor, her stomach dropped. "Your kids are alone at home. Where's Margaret?" Susan's fingers trembled as she dialed Margaret's number, her mind spiraling. Emma was only 7, Liam barely 4. They were too young to be alone, too fragile for the world's unpredictability. The call went to voicemail. Susan's voice cracked as she left a message. "Margaret, where are you? The kids, please call me back." Tom, sensing her panic, grabbed her hand, his face pale. They booked the next flight home, cutting their trip short, the wedding's joy replaced by dread. The 3-hour flight felt like an eternity. Susan's thoughts churned with worst-case scenarios: Emma trying to cook and starting a fire, Liam wandering into the street. She blamed herself for trusting Margaret, whose history of flakiness, missing school pickups, forgetting birthdays should have been a warning. Tom sat silently beside her, guilt etched into his furrowed brow. When they finally landed, Susan's phone lit up with another message from the neighbor. "Kids are safe with me now. Margaret's still gone." Rushing to their small suburban home, Susan found Emma and Liam curled up on the neighbor's couch, watching cartoons. Emma's eyes were red from crying, and Liam clung to a stuffed bear. "Mommy, Grandma left us," Emma whispered, her voice small. Susan knelt, pulling them into her arms, her relief tainted by fury. The neighbor explained that she'd seen the kids playing alone in the yard and brought them inside when she couldn't find Margaret. Susan thanked her, her voice thick with emotion, and took the kids home. Margaret's absence gnawed at Susan. Where could she be? The wedding invitation had been clear: no children. Had Margaret resented that? Susan searched the house for clues, finding a note on the kitchen counter in Margaret's looping handwriting. "Back soon." Had to step out. No explanation, no apology. Susan's anger flared, but beneath it lay a deeper hurt. Margaret wasn't just her mother-in-law. She was family, someone Susan had hoped her kids could rely on. Hours later, as Susan tucked the kids into bed, headlights swept across the driveway. Margaret's car. Susan braced herself as the front door creaked open. Margaret stepped inside, her face flushed, a glittering party dress peeking out from under her coat. "Susan, I can explain," she began, but Susan cut her off. "You left my kids alone. For what?" Margaret's eyes darted away, and then, to Susan's shock, she pulled out a small velvet box. "I went to get this," she said softly. Inside the box was a delicate silver locket, engraved with Emma and Liam's initials. Margaret's voice trembled as she explained. She'd heard about a local jeweler at the wedding, one who crafted keepsakes for children. Struck by a sudden urge to make amends for her past unreliability, she'd driven hours to the jeweler's shop, hoping the locket would be a symbol of her commitment to her grandchildren. "I didn't think it would take so long," she admitted, tears welling. "I thought I'd be back before they noticed." Susan's anger wavered. The gesture was heartfelt, but the recklessness stung. Leaving two young children alone, even for a few hours, was unforgivable. Yet Margaret's remorse was palpable, her usual bravado replaced by vulnerability. "I wanted to be better for them," she whispered. Susan took a deep breath, her heart torn between forgiveness and the need to protect her family. The family gathered the next morning, tensions high. Tom, caught between his mother and wife, mediated as they talked. Margaret apologized to the kids, her voice breaking as she promised to earn their trust. Emma, wise beyond her years, hugged her grandmother, whispering, "Don't leave us again, okay?" Liam, still clutching his bear, nodded shyly. Susan watched, her heart softening but resolute. She set new boundaries. Margaret could visit, but never again be alone with the kids until trust was rebuilt. In the weeks that followed, Margaret showed up. She attended Emma's soccer games, read to Liam, and listened to Susan's rules without protest. The locket became a quiet reminder not just of Margaret's mistake, but of her effort to change. Susan began to see her mother-in-law not as a villain, but as a flawed woman trying to grow. The family wasn't whole yet, but they were healing, stitch by imperfect stitch. Trust, Susan realized, wasn't built in grand gestures, but in the small, steady moments that followed. And in that fragile space between betrayal and redemption, they found a way forward together.